Hello everyone, welcome to SV Union High School and Junior College, and all my 5th standard students are welcome to my YouTube channel. Students, let's start with Environmental Studies Part 1 for Standard 5. So students, before starting with this lesson, let's observe some few examples connected with this lesson so that we can find out what will be the core or what will be the topic of this lesson. So let's start with the first image, that is facial expressions, gestures, emoticons, newspapers, radio, magazines, internet, or we can even say Wi-Fi, television, books, video games, music, and cell phones. So you must have understood this is all connected with communication. So our today's topic will be lesson number 15, communication and mass media. In this various images, if you have seen about facial expressions or gestures, you can see the actual expressions on the face. Emoticons refers to the smiley faces which is given in WhatsApp. In the radio, we hear different types of music and songs. Newspapers, we are getting updated with the current news affairs. We read different types of magazines. We read different types of books. We are now getting connected outside the world through internet, through televisions. People love to play, especially small children love to play with the video games. Whenever we are depressed, whenever we are happy, we love to hear music. Even though people are staying very far away from us, we can video call them, we can call them and ask about them. Why this is happening? This is happening because we are getting connected with everyone. But how are we getting connected? We are getting connected with everyone with the artificial satellite. Now in this lesson, we are going to study in detail the advantages, the disadvantages, and how we are getting the news from one corner to the other corner of the country. If you see for an example on this 26th Jan or 15th August last year in the COVID situation, even though we were not going in the school or we have not attended any of the functions, we can see them live. But how we have seen it? Because of the internet, because of this artificial satellite. Now all my dear students, let's start with this lesson, communication and mass media. We watch TV programs on many different channels. Where do they come from? Question number 2, we talk to others on our mobile phones. What makes communication on a mobile phone possible? In the first chapter, we learned about launching of spacecraft and artificial satellites. Artificial satellites are used in modern methods of communication. The signals are delivered very quickly from one point to another. For example, we can watch the live telecast of any event going on in any part of the world. For example, football or cricket matches. With the help of mobile phones, we can directly talk to people in other countries. The president or prime minister can address the entire nation at the same time over the radio or TV. So students, let's first understand what is the meaning or what is called as communication. So communication means or it refers to two-way process of conveying information, ideas, feelings or opinion between two or more persons, either verbally or non-verbally. It is used using a medium. Satellite communication play a vital role in the global communication system. Now let's understand the importance of communication. Being able to communicate effectively is one of the most important life skills. Those with good interpersonal skills and are strong verbal and non-verbal communicators and are often considered to be good with people. To learn, so communication is defined as transferring information to produce greater relationship. To make it understand in simple words, we can also say that communication is defined as transferring information to produce a greater understanding. Now students, have you ever thought that how we can watch live telecast of any event in any part of the world? It can be football matches, cricket matches. You can even talk on mobile phones in any part of the country to any part of the world also. And how is the president or prime minister addresses the entire nation at the same time over radio or TV. This happens because of the artificial satellites which are launched into space by means of rockets. They are useful for communication. Now students, do you know in India we use artificial satellites for communication. These satellites are called Indian National Satellites, which is also called as INSAT. Now let's have a detailed information about these Indian National Satellites, that is INSAT. The Indian National Satellite System is one of the largest domestic communication satellite system in Asia Pacific region with 9 operational communication satellites which is placed in geostationary orbit. It was established in 1983 with the commissioning of INSAT 1B. It initiated a major revolution in India's communication sector and sustained the same later. This system provides services to telecommunications, televisions, broadcasting, satellite news gathering, applications, weather forecasting, disaster warning, and search and rescue operations. I hope so students, you must have understood about communication. Now let's start from page number 74. Now students, I will be showing you few images. Observe them and note it down in your classwork book. See the first image. You can see the girls' different and various expressions. Now note down all these expressions in your classwork books and tell me what you have observed from these images. Study the pictures given above. Write the name of the emotion that you see on each face in the box below it. We can understand a person's feelings by looking at the expression on their face. The expression on a person's face and other gestures communicate a message to us. We receive messages or information through communication. The exchange of information is called communication. Information broadcast is also a part of communication. Information is useful for constructing knowledge. Students, let's understand with an example what is called as gesture. A gesture is a movement of the hand, arms, or other part of the body that is intended to indicate or emphasize something, often when speaking. In other words, gestures are body movements that express something. For example, a wave of the hand is a common gesture used to say hello to someone. Or some few more examples about victory, we use the gesture of fingers like V for stop and for OK. Now students, let's understand what is the meaning of broadcast. Broadcast means to cast or scattered in all direction, which is made in public by the means of radio or television. It can be related to broadcasting. So let's have a few examples of broadcasting. If you know, there are different types of communication methods that include television, radio, podcast, blogs, advertising, websites, online streaming, and digital journalism. It also includes films, press and print publications, advertising, traditional modes of communications, which plays an important role in helping the people to access free flow of information. My dear students, now you must have understood what is called as communication. Now the next part what we are going to study is about mass media. The means of communication that reach large numbers of people in a short time is called as mass media. Mass media is communication, whether written or spoken, that reaches a large audience. This includes television, radio, advertising, movies, internet, newspaper, magazine, and so on. Now students, let's have a look about the types of mass media. The mass media has evolved significantly over time. Have you ever wondered how the latest news and information was communicated in the past? Well, before there was the internet, television, or the radio, there was the newspaper. The newspaper was the original platform of mass media. For a long period of time, the public relied on writers and journalists for the local newspaper to provide them with the latest news in the current events. Centuries later, the invention of the radio would soon become the most important part of our life, and also for mass media. Families would gather together to come and listen to their favorite radio station programs to hear the latest news regarding politics, social issues, and entertainment. Later on down the line came the invention of the television. The television would soon replace the radio for the most effective platform to reach the general public. Today, the internet is the most relevant form of mass media and has become a major tool for news outlets. Since the evolution of the internet, the general public is now able to access those same news outlets in an instant with just a click of mouse instead of having to wait for scheduled programs. So what are the 5 types of media? Modern media comes in many different formats, including print media, which includes books, magazines, newspapers, television, movies, video games, music, cell phones. These are the various kinds of software and the internet. Each type of media involves both content and also a device or object through which that content is delivered. Mass media also plays a critical role in educating the public. Educational programs exist on channels. The internet also plays an essential role in educating the general public. With the information on the internet, one could learn anything from something as simple to more the complex. In this pandemic situation of COVID-19, I know all my dear students, you are just missing your school, your class, your friends. I know that each and every one will miss in future this academic year. But students, if you see to it that in spite if we are not going to school regularly because of mass media, because of internet, we are still getting connected to the world, to the outside world. We are not missing our academics. We are updating every bit of internet from this situation. The mass media also has an influence on popular culture. The mass media is responsible for conveying what's trendy in popular culture to the general public. Through mass mass media, news outlets have a major influence on the general public and a major impact on the public's opinion on certain topics. In many cases, the mass media is the only source that a general public relies on for news. For example, when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon in 1969, mass media made it possible for the public to witness this historical event. Because of the internet and mass media, if you remember this great personality, the winner of 2020, that is Ranjit Singh Disle from India, is an Indian teacher from Maharashtra who has won the Global Teacher Prize and which was being referred by the journalist by the Nobel Prize for teaching, highlights and celebrates the profession while giving greater recognition to the work of teachers all over the world. So, my dear students, I hope that you must have understood and cleared the concept of communication and mass media. In the next part of the video, we will be highlighting on few points like advantages and disadvantages of mass media and communication. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you everyone.